chapter 29 of Satrarudra Samhita of the volume 3 of Shiv Puran. In this, we read about Krishna Darshana, incarnation of Lord Shiva, who gave perfect wisdom to Nabhaga, who was the ninth son of Manu. Nabhaga stayed at the abode of his preceptor and studied there for a long time. During this time, his shrewd brothers took their share in the property without leaving a share for Nabhaga. When Nabhaga returned, he learned about it and politely asked his brothers to hand over his share. The brothers gave him his father Manu as Nabhaga's share. Nabhaga then approached his father and told him about it, and the father consoled him and told him that he was deceived by his brothers. He told Nabhaga a means of livelihood. He asked him to go to a place where the Angirasa Brahmins performed a sacrifice and recite two Vaishvadeva Suktas, and then he would get the wealth left after the sacrifice of Brahmins who would go to heaven soon after the sacrifice. Nabhaga did what his father told him to do, and the Brahmins gave him the wealth left over after the sacrifice. Just then, Lord Shiva manifested himself in the form called Krishna Darshana to bestow him with the perfect knowledge. He told Nabhaga that those assets left after the sacrifice were his and asked him to go inquire his father about it. When Nabhaga told his father about all that had happened, the father told him that this Purusha was none other than Krishna Darshana, who was an incarnation of Lord Shiva, and that everything belonged to him. He asked Nabhaga to go back and eulogize the Lord and ask for forgiveness, since the Lord was there to bless him. Nabhaga went back and apologized after bowing down to the Lord and eulogized him greatly. He asked for forgiveness. Manu also eulogized the Lord. Brahma, Vishnu, and all other gods and sages came there. Lord Shiva bestowed Nabhaga with perfect knowledge, wealth, and pleasure, and then vanished from there. Today we'll read chapter 30, the incarnation of Shiva as Avadhuteshwara. Alpana auntie will be reading the chapter in English, and Meda auntie will be reading that in Hindi. Bahut bahut shukrana.
Jai Guruji. Shukrana Guruji for giving me this divine seva, and thanks to Manish Uncle for such a beautiful synopsis. So today we are reading chapter 30 from Shat Rudra Samhita, and this talks about the incarnation of Shiva as Avadhuteshwara. Nandishwara said, "O son of Brahma, listen to the first incarnation of the great Lord named Avadhuteshwara, who dispelled the arrogance of Indra. O sage, formerly Indra, accompanied by Brihaspati and the other gods, went to Kailasha in order to see Shiva. On knowing that Brihaspati and Indra were coming, and in order to test their mind in their eagerness to see him, the Lord, indulging in different kinds of sports, assumed the form of an Avadhuta. He was naked, he looked fierce, and had the luster of blazing fire. The Avadhuta, the goal of the good, blocked their way. He stood there with matted hair hanging loosely and the whole feature shining brilliantly. Passing that way towards Shiva, Brihaspati and Indra saw the gigantic figure of wonderful features on the way. Without knowing that the Purusha was Shiva himself, O sage, Indra, who was arrogant due to his authority, asked him as he stood in his way. Indra said, "Who are you? Whence have you come in this form of a naked Avadhuta? What is your true name? Tell me quickly and factually. Is Shiva in his abode, or has he gone out? I am now going to see him along with my preceptor and the gods." Nandishwara said, when asked by Indra, that Purusha, who was Lord Shiva himself, who had taken that body sportively in order to quell his arrogance, did not say anything. Indra asked him again, but Shiva, whose ways are unknown, who was in the naked form and who was the creator of fanciful things, did not say anything. Again Indra, the Lord of heaven and the master of the three worlds, asked him. The great yogin of great sports remained silent. Though asked by Indra again and again, Lord Shiva remained silent, desirous of quelling the arrogance of Indra. Then the Lord of the gods, proud of his serenity over the three worlds, became furious and said, rebuking the Lord having matted hair. Indra said, "O you fool, even though I am asking, you are not giving me any answer. Hence I am going to kill you with my thunderbolt. O wicked fellow, who is there to protect you?" After saying this and staring at him in fury, Indra raised his thunderbolt in order to kill the naked person. On seeing Indra lifting up the thunderbolt, Shiva made his hand stunned. Then the Purusha, furious and terrific, with terrible eyes, blazed with his brilliance as though he would burn everything. The lord of Sachi burnt within himself due to the anger resulting from the benumbered state of his hand, like a serpent whose fury had been curbed by a magical formula. On seeing the Purusha blazing thus in his own brilliance, Brahaspati knew him to be Shiva and bowed to him soon. Brahaspati, of liberal mind, kept his palms joined together and prostrated on the ground like a staff and eulogized him with devotion. Brahaspati said, "O great God, Lord of the gods, favorably disposed towards those who seek refuge in you, O Lord of Gauri, be pleased. O Lord of all, obeisance to you. Even Brahma, Vishnu, and others are all deluded by your Maya. They do not know you really. If at all they know, it is only by your blessings." Nandishvara said, after eulogizing Lord Shiva, Brahaspati made Indra fall at his feet. "Oh dear," then the liberal minded preceptor of the gods, Brahaspati, the intelligent one, bowed humbly and spoke thus. Brahaspati said, "O great God, Lord of the distressed, please raise me up, who have fallen at your feet. Do not be furious, be kind and loving. O great God, be satisfied. Save Indra who has sought refuge in you. Fire originating from your eye in the forehead is coming out." Nandishvara said, on hearing the words of Brahaspati, the Lord in the form of Avduta, the ocean of mercy, indulging in good sports, laughingly said, "How can I withhold the fire that has come out of my eye due to anger? How can a serpent take up a slough that has been cast off?" Nandishvara said, on hearing these words of Shiva, Brahaspati, with his mind agitated due to fright, spoke again with palms joined in reverence. Brahaspati said, "O Lord, devotees are always to be pitied. O Shiva, thus make your name Bhakt Vatsala true. O Lord of the gods, it behoves you to cast off this fire elsewhere. Please lift up Indra since you are the uplifter of all devotees." Nandishvara said, thus requested by Brahaspati, Shiva, who bore the name of Bhakt Vatsala, the delighted soul and the dispeller of the distress of those who bow down, replied, "O preceptor of the gods, I am pleased with you. I shall grant you excellent boon. You will be famous as Jiva because you have gifted life to Indra. I shall cast off this fire which has come out of the eye in my forehead and which is unbearable to the gods, so that it will not afflict Indra." After saying this, he took the wonderful fire originating from his eye in the forehead in his hand and cast it off into the briny sea. Then that fire originating from the eye in the forehead of Shiva and cast off into the briny sea became a boy immediately. He became the lord of Asuras, known as Jalandhara and Sindhuputra. At the request of the gods, Lord Shiva slew him. After carrying out this task, Shiva, the benefactor of the worlds, in the form of Avduta, vanished from there. The gods became happy and fearless. Brihaspati and Indra became free from terror and attained supreme happiness. After seeing the Lord for which they had come there, Brihaspati and Indra returned to their respective abodes joyous and contented. Thus, the incarnation of Avduteshwara of Lord Shiva has been narrated by me. It yields the highest bliss and punishes the wicked. This narrative is faultless and conducive to heaven and fame. It yields worldly pleasures and salvation. It is divine and it gives the fruits of all desires. He who listens to this or narrates this with attentive mind enjoys all pleasures and attains the goal of Shiva in the end. With this, we come to the end of chapter 30, and the Hindi reading will be done by Meda Aunty. Thank you, Guruji.
जय गुरु जी. थैंक यू गुरु जी फॉर द सेवा. भगवान शिव के अवधूतेश्वर अवतार की कथा और उसकी महिमा का वर्णन. नंदीश्वर कहते हैं, संत कुमार, अब तुम परमेश्वर शिव के अवधूतेश्वर नाम का अवतार का वर्णन सुनो, जिसने इंद्र के घमंड को चूर चूर कर दिया था. पहले की बात है, इंद्र संपूर्ण देवताओं तथा बृहस्पति जी को साथ लेकर भगवान शिव का दर्शन करने के लिए कैलाश पर्वत पर गए. उस समय बृहस्पति और इंद्र के शुभागमन की बात जानकर भगवान शिव उन दोनों की परीक्षा लेने के लिए अवधूत बन गए. उनके शरीर पर कोई वस्त्र नहीं था. वे प्रज्वलित अग्नि के समान तेजस्वी होने के कारण महाभयंकर जान पड़ते थे. उनकी आकृति बड़ी सुंदर दिखाई देती थी. वे राह रोककर खड़े थे. बृहस्पति और इंद्र ने शिव के समीप जाने समय देखा, एक अद्भुत शरीरधारी पुरुष रास्ते के बीच में खड़ा है. इंद्र को अपने अधिकार पर बड़ा गर्व था, इसलिए वे न यह जान सके कि ये साक्षात भगवान शंकर है. उन्होंने मार्ग में खड़े हुए पुरुष से पूछा, तुम कौन हो? इस नग्न अवधूतेश में कहाँ से आए हो? तुम्हारा नाम क्या है? सब बातें ठीक ठीक बताओ, देर न करो. भगवान शिव अपने स्थान पर है या इस समय कहीं अन्यत्र गए हैं. मैं देवताओं तथा गुरु जी के साथ उन्हीं के दर्शन के लिए जा रहा हूँ. इंद्र के बारंबार पूछने पर भी महान कौतुक करने वाले अहंकारहारी महायोगी त्रिलोकीनाथ शिव कुछ न बोले, चुप ही रहे. तब अपने ऐश्वर्य का घमंड रखने वाले देवराज इंद्र रोष में आकर उस जटाधारी पुरुष को फटकारा और इस प्रकार कहा. इंद्र बोले, अरे मूर्ख, दुर्मते, तू बार बार पूछने पर भी उत्तर नहीं देता, अतः तुझे वज्र से मारता हूँ. देखो कौन तेरी रक्षा करता है. ऐसा कहा उस दिगंबर पुरुष की ओर क्रोधपूर्वक देखते हुए इंद्र ने उसे मार डालने के लिए वज्र उठाया. यह देख भगवान शंकर ने शीघ्र ही उस वज्र का स्तंभन कर दिया. उनकी बाह अकड़ गई, इसलिए वे वज्र का प्रहार न कर सके. तदंतर वह पुरुष तत्काल ही क्रोधित के कारण तेज से प्रज्वलित हो उठा, मानो इंद्र को जलाने देता हो. भुजाओं के स्तंभित हो जाने के कारण सच्ची वल्लभ इंद्र क्रोध से उस सर्प की भांति जलने लगे, जिसका पराक्रम मंत्र के बल से अवरुद्ध हो गए हो. बृहस्पति उस पुरुष को अपने तेज से प्रज्वलित होता देखा, तत्काल ही यह समझ लिया कि ये साक्षात भगवान हर है। फिर तो वे हाथ जोड़ प्रणाम करके उनकी स्तुति करने लगे। स्तुति के पश्चात उन्होंने इंद्र को उनके चरणों में गिरा दिया और कहा, दीनानाथ महादेव, यह इंद्र आपके चरणों में पड़ा है। आप इसका और मेरा उद्धार करें। हम दोनों पर क्रोध नहीं, प्रेम करें। महादेव, शरणागत इंद्र की रक्षा कीजिए। अपने ललाट से प्रकट हुए यह आग इन्हें जलाने के लिए आ रही है। बृहस्पति यह बात सुनकर अवधूत वेशधारी करुणा सिंधु शिव ने हंसते हुए कहा, अपने नेत्र से रोषवश बाहर निकली हुई अग्नि को मैं पुनः कैसे धारण कर सकता हूँ? क्या सर्प अपनी छोड़ी हुई केचुर को फिर ग्रहण करता है? बृहस्पति बोले, देव, भगवान, भक्त सदा ही कृपा के पात्र होते हैं। आप अपने भक्त वत्सल नाम को चरित्र कीजिए और इस भयंकर तेज को कहीं अन्यत्र डाल दीजिए। रुद्र ने कहा, देवगुरु, मैं तुम पर प्रसन्न हूँ, इसलिए उत्तम वर देता हूँ। इंद्र को जीवन दान देने के कारण आज से तुम्हारा एक नाम जीव भी होगा। मेरे ललाट वर्तो नेत्र से जो यह आग प्रकट हुई है, इसे देवता नहीं सह सकते। अथ इसको मैं बहुत दूर छोड़ूंगा, जिससे यह इंद्र को पीड़ा न दे सके। ऐसा कहकर अपने तेज स्वरूप उस अद्भुत अग्नि को हाथ में लेकर भगवान शिव ने क्षार समुद्र फेंक दिया। वहाँ फेंके जाते ही भगवान शिव यह तेज तत्काल एक बालक के रूप में परिणत हो गए, जो सिंधुपुत्र जलंधर नाम से विख्यात हुआ। फिर देवताओं की प्रार्थना से भगवान शिव ही असुरों के स्वामी जलंधर को वध किया था। अवधूत रूप ऐसी सुंदर लीला करके लोक कल्याणकारी शंकर वहाँ से अंतर्धान हो गए। फिर सब देवता अत्यंत निर्भय एवं सुखी हुए। इंद्र और बृहस्पति भी उस भय से मुक्त हो उत्तम सुखी भागी हुए। जिसके लिए उनका आना हुआ था, वह भगवान शिव का दर्शन पाकर कृतार्थ हुए। इंद्र और बृहस्पति प्रसन्नतापूर्वक अपने स्थान को चले गए। संत कुमार, इस प्रकार मैंने तुमसे परमेश्वर शिव के अवधूतेश्वर नाम का अवतार की वर्णन किया है, जो दुष्टों को दंड एवं भक्तों को परम आनंद प्रदान करने वाले हैं। यह दिव्य आख्या पाप का निर्वाण करके यश, स्वर्ग, भोग, मोक्ष तथा संपूर्ण मनोवांछित फल की प्राप्त करने वाले हैं। इससे सुनता या सुनाता है, यह इस लोक में संपूर्ण सुखों का उपभोग करके अंत में शिव की गति प्राप्त कर लेता है। अध्याय समाप्त। जय गुरु जी।